site called Satori.com. It used to be History.com, if that gives you a little bit more frame of reference for it, but they've changed it slightly. What it is, basically, it's a timeline tool. But it's more than that. It guides students through a set of learning experiences that can lead them to an overall mastery of a skill. You can use it at different grade levels. You can use it for different content areas. It can be teacher created. It can be student created. You can use it to introduce a concept. I've used it before as a test. You can have students create them as a test. You can also have students copy them into their own Google Classroom and manipulate it and then submit it to you. Now, that's probably more for the older grade levels. For the younger grade levels, this is something that I could see you using to kind of organize your lesson for yourself, but it's probably something you would do as whole group, maybe not so much in small groups or stations or something where the students are really on their own, because it might be a little bit complicated for the younger ones to follow on their own. I emailed you. The first thing I wanted you to see is kind of what it does, how it can be used, because there's too many different ways to use it for me to stand up here and list it all. So in your Google Classroom, in our Google Classroom page, I listed a link for you. It says explore what Satori has to offer. If you'll click on that link and pray that the internet works.
It took a little while.
Okay.
Too many people.
That's probably exactly what it is. It'll pop up, and once it does pop up, it'll have different grade levels and different ways that you can use it in different grade levels. So when it does come up for you, if you'll spend a few minutes just sort of looking through how it would apply to your classroom, and if you see something cool, feel free to share out with the people nearby, and just kind of be thinking about how you could create one that would be good for you, because the goal before you leave today is for you to create your own. But as you're looking through it now, what are some ways you see yourself possibly using this in your classroom?
I'm on this literacy one for kindergarten, and it's like a timeline that shows a child's progression through their writing, like at the beginning of the year, you know, and it has different samples of how they are writing throughout the year. So I think that's really neat to be able to track their progress that way. And I guess, can parents here too? It would be a great way, you know, for them to see how their child is doing as well.
Like an online portfolio? Yes.
I was thinking for writing, we just did an informational book on the American Revolution. And so while we need to do the writing process, you know, in our writer's notebooks, it would be awesome if this was one of the ways that we published our writing and could share it with others.
Oh, that would be awesome. But also kind of make grading really easy, especially when you start getting into those 5-paragraph essays or even into the parts of a paragraph. If you have the introduction as one event and then each of your body paragraphs is a different event, it would help you and the children really separate, like understand that those are separate ideas, and it would help you with grading those separate ideas. So that would be awesome. Anybody else?
There was another one on the kindergarten level, like Lisa's, that has the morning routines that I think would be great at the beginning of the year, because it's just the pictures of what you do first. You unpack your book bag, and then there's a 2-second, you hang up your book bag. So rather than having all the words there, they can just look and see what do they do next, next, and next.
That's so true. In my mind, this was very content driven, but it would be a great way to teach procedures as well. That's a great point.
And the visual for younger kids. Right.
Definitely. So let's head. No, go for it.
This right here is awesome, that they can read into it and they can listen to improve their fluency. So will it save on the computer? Like the child will read, and in 6 months I'll have them read the same passage and let them compare their own fluency, so it'll save.
You can. You just have to go to Audacity to do it and record it that way, and then it'll let you link it up that way. And that's something, it's super easy to do, and I'll be happy to show you how to do that. So let's build them. If you will go back to Google Classroom, you should still have that tab at the top, and there's a link. You know what? Just go from here. We'll just go from here. Up in the top corner, it'll say sign up. So click on that. It looks a little bit different on mine because I'd used the snipping tool and kind of separated it out. But up in the top right-hand corner, oh, sorry, I moved you all the way over. Are we over here? Down the yes. Yes, and it's very important that you get that right because it will let you set up classrooms so that you can post a timeline in your classroom on this, and the students can it will send it out to all of them. They'll be able to access it that way. And then two, if you want to use this as an assessment, then you can have them submit it back to you, and that's how it will come back to you. So definitely choose educator. It's easier if you, sometimes I do that as like directions because you would think that the students would be able to follow, go down the path, but they can't always remember to do that, so it's a great place to add in specific directions. And then when you're ready to add events, you click on the little plus sign, and it'll bring up all these options for you. I want to explain each of the options just a little bit, and then after that, I'll let you go through it and build them on your own. For text, that one I like to use when I need them to really, really know something and not necessarily respond to it in any way. So I usually use these at the top of the timeline when they're still learning. I'm still trying to teach them whatever it is I'm teaching them. For image, sometimes I like to do those and then have them respond to the image underneath. But again, that's not something that they can add. So students my kids last year built these on their own as part of our end of the year social studies assignments, and they were amazing. They figured it out so quickly, but they did struggle a little bit with how to add in an image. Also video, it has to be YouTube. So they could go home and add a YouTube video, but they're not going to be able to access it on Chromebooks at school. Audio, that's the one I was telling you about where you would have to go into Audacity and save it as an MP3 file, which sounds a lot fancier than it is. If that's something that you want to do, like for the reading fluency, I'll be happy to show you how to do that. The Did You Know is a great one to start out with because it does kind of get them interested in it. Multiple choice is fairly self-explanatory. The drag and drop, I kind of spoke to you about that already. Forum, they love. Heading, I don't always use that one as much as I should, but it is a great way to segment your timeline if you need them to really work through one step of understanding before they head to that next step of understanding. Once you're done with whichever one, and it'll prompt you, here's what you do, here's where you type the right answer, here's where you type the wrong answers, like if you're doing multiple choice, then you can click on the next little adding sign. Once you're getting to work, like sometimes you'll add in events and go, oh, I need this to be different. Like it's multiple choice and I really should have done it this way. If you scroll to the bottom of the event, it'll give you these two little tabs. The trash can, obviously you can get rid of it. If you build your timeline and you think, I probably should have put this event ahead of the other, then you can use that little arrow key and it will move the events up and down for you. So it's faster than deleting it and having to start over again. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and get to work and work on making your own. Let me know if you have questions. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
What if I wanted to do this for each student, like the one that I looked at?
Then you would you can add them in as groups, and just you add in each kid kind of like you do with Google Classroom, and then you would go over here and copy the story. Now, what you would have to do is then have the students go in for them, really.
Right.
And then once you've gone in for them, then you can click on copy the story in their account, and then have them go through it or add the pictures that you want, and then at the bottom it'll say submit. And once you've submitted it, you're good to go.
Okay.